Okay. All right, I would like to call to order the meeting in order to discuss the inmate communication RFP today. We have, and if I can have my panelists introduce themselves and tell me what department they're in, please, and then when we can go through the agenda.
Hi, good morning, or good afternoon, sorry. I'm Nicole Barton. I'm the Executive Director for the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council out of the Office of the Mayor.
Judy Armstrong, Comptroller's Office.
I'm Janika Hayden from the President of the Board of Aldermen.
Jennifer Clemens, Commissioner of Corrections.
All right, thank you, ladies. I appreciate that. We're going to go through the agenda. Basically states that we are calling to order. We're going to go through a brief review of the RFP and the for the inmate communication. Would you like for me to share the RFP, to go through it? How would you like to conduct that?
Yes, if you could share that, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I had it up here. I have many things up. Where'd you go? There you are. Okay. Moment. Share screen. Here. Okay. Is everybody able to see it?
Not yet.
Oh.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I can kind of scroll through as we go through the fine points. I think, Nicole, you were the one to kind of put this one together, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And you have the floor.
Okay. So the purpose of this proposal is we are seeking an experienced incarcerated person communication proposer to provide, install, and maintain various incarcerated person communication solutions, inclusive of an incarcerated person's telephone service, tablets, audio recordings of visitation sessions, and payphone telephone systems, and that those incarcerated persons' telephone calls and visitation sessions processed by and through the system shall be completed as free. So do we have one without the comment in the, do you have one that's?
Can you not share your screen, Ms. Frazier, until we find that one, please?
Yeah, let me see if I have the one I'm looking at doesn't have the comment, but let me see if I can send it to you.
Let's see.
Are you able to pull up the one that's in the attached email with the agenda by chance? I don't think that one has the comment on it.
All right, let's see. My apologies. Okay, so got it. Well, this one is going through, it looks like, does yours have the, corrections within the proposal, not the comments though? So it looks like I'm showing, whatever corrections you all made. Is that the right one or no?
Yes, you can pull that one because that would have been like the most recent one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, whenever I opened it,
You want me to see if I can share my screen?
yes.
Okay.
Because whenever I'm opening it, it's showing the comments.
Okay, let me see. Can you see mine? Okay. Are you all able to see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen, so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I just read the brief review of the purpose of the call. And has everyone had a chance to take a look at it? Do you want to start with the questions, or does anyone have any comments or questions? Do we want to go straight to that area, or?
I didn't have any questions. I thought the RFP was pretty straightforward.
And so I guess the one thing I didn't say is the proposals will be considered up to 700,000.
Nicole, is this a replacement? Is this a replacement vendor? Does the jail already, the CJC already have something like this? Or I'm sorry, Commissioner Clemens, I'm not sure who to ask.
Yeah, so we do currently have a contract with a vendor that is not free calls though. And if Commissioner Clemens, do you want to add to what we have with the current vendor?
What we have now does not cost the city. It is a commission contract, meaning that anything that is made off of it comes back into the inmate fund, trust fund, to spend on things that cater to them. So this would be something that would come out of tax dollars.
But would be free to the detainees, correct?
Correct.
The current contract, there is a cost to the detainee or the family. This contract, this RFP would be free to the detainees and or families who are communicating with the detainees.
So the cost is just shifting from the families to the city, right?
Yes. Did I say that right, Commissioner?
That's actually what's written too. But how did the 700,000? How did we come up with that in terms of what we think a yearly cost would be?
So Commissioner, is that what we currently have that's coming back into the facility? Is that the number? How we came up with that number? I know it's been up to months since we wrote this
Well,
up.
I didn't look at these and come up with the numbers because I'm not sure how you guys came up with it. That because with tablets, with phone, with mail scanning and all that, it's pretty pricey, but I'm not sure where that number is derived from.
Do you know what we currently what the current vendor? Do you know what their annual amount is? Offhand. And I'm sorry, I did not print that one out.
Okay.
For clarification, are you asking the current, or in regards to the current vendor, are you asking how much we receive in commission or how much it costs them?
So in this one, the Justice Center will pay the proposal a fixed annual cost amount split into payments outlined in this RFP, utilizing this proposal up to that dollar amount of the 700,000. So it's going to come back out of, as Commissioner Clemens just said, it'll come back out of taxpayer money, which would be a budget line from the Justice Center, if that makes sense.
It does. Okay.
And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. If anyone has any other questions, feel free to jump in. So just want to flag here that we did add that the goal for the selection through the RFP is to ensure a fair and equitable path for people that are detained and their families to maintain contact without the burden of the expense causing harm to poor families. So we know that people that are currently detained that are more economically stable are able to connect with their families and loved ones and friends while they're detained, but it poses a burden on those who are economically disadvantaged to be able to stay in contact with their family members.
Nicole, it says all proposers shall submit a copy. Is that May 16th date gonna change?
Yeah, the dates will have to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part of what we need to figure out now because we do have a current contract with the current vendor. Is it until May of next year, Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one of the things we kind of want to decide too is what our date is going to be. And we can set a date 90 days out. There's no reason we could still take proposals in until whatever deadline date we're going to cut it off at. And they usually ask for a cutoff date to be at least 90 days before the current contract ends. Is that right? I think that's what it is.
We have to give a 90-day cancellation to the current contractor before their contract ends. We have to notify them.
Gotcha. And the current.
And then also, would you would put it, and I'm assuming that all new phones are coming in too, so that over and stuff, however that's going to happen too, would take time. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the current vendor can apply for this too. I mean, there's no reason why they couldn't if they wanted to. So we could hopefully maybe maintain the equipment that we do have. But yes, there is equipment that would be, involved in this if we transfer it over to a new vendor. So does anybody have suggestions on a date that we want to put in here to have this RFP out for being open?
How long would you want it to stay open? I think it's easier to go backwards if we know.
So we would have to respond to the current vendor if we're working backwards from in February, like February 16th of 2025, in order to give them a cancellation. But we can start taking them whenever we want and then have a closing date, really of whenever we want to. So if we wanted to say we're gonna start taking them in, 60 or 90 days and have it close out in November or December, so we have time to review those and be able to determine whether or not we're gonna, and then have the cancellation notice to the current vendor by February of 2025.
Okay. So it sounds like, to me, it sounds like, you would probably be ready to go out maybe the beginning of September. And you could leave it out till the beginning of November. That'll give them time to prepare it and stuff. And if you get it back at the beginning of November, and because now you're starting to get into holidays as well.
Right.
So it might even be best to come back the end of October, and that way give us a couple of weeks, the first 2 weeks in November, and then meet again, so that once you get into December, you got time to decide.
Yeah.
Seem like
I
if
mean,
you make a decision by the beginning of December, then that gives you plenty of time to get your notices out. So if it comes back the 1st of November and we meet the 1st of December, maybe, first week or two in December, and then you'll know how to move forward.
yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I mean, we're almost to August 1st now, so if we open it up September 1st, then we're looking at, just a little over 30 days from now, and closing it November 1st, and then that way it has 60 days to be open.
Yeah, that's true.
Does that sound like a good time frame to everyone?
Yes.
And it would probably be September 3rd. The 1st is a Sunday.
Okay.
The 2nd is a holiday, so it would be open on September 3rd through November 1st. November 1st is a Friday, so that'll be good.
Okay, thanks, Judy. That sounds good. I'm adding that here, my notes. Okay, and so most of this is standard format information here, but if you have any questions. And then we just added to provide information regarding MBE or WBE participation in the services to be provided as part of this as well.
Now, I remember reading that every inmate would get a tablet. How many phones is this putting in? And I might have overlooked that.
Commissioner, how many phones do we currently have? That's a good question.
Between 4 and 8 in every pod.
In every pod, okay, between 4 and 8. And you're gonna keep that same number?
I would defer to the commissioner what she thinks is like a good number. If we stay with that current number, does that work, or do you think we should add more?
If you guys think it's sufficient.
Do you get complaints about not having enough phones in the pods, or do you think it's good?
We don't.
Okay. Yes. So currently.
But with there
Okay.
being free.
Yes, I'm gonna put a little question there. And then our current contract does allow every detainee to have a tablet as well, so that would not change.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then this section is about equipment and installation, so, which is pretty standard as well. And let me know if I'm moving too fast. And then this section is security features. And then the current system has ways to monitor, record, and have data requirements. So we want to make sure that we're staying consistent with that as well. So in addition to regular phone calls, we wanted to make sure that video visitations are included in this fixed cost proposal as well.
Now, how is it determined for the video? I mean, you know, I know we know that that's going to be extra costs, but do they get, will it be a limitation? You get one a week or one every, how is that determined? That who gets and how many video calls can you get?
Yeah, that's a good question. So they currently, and I'll defer to Commissioner Clemens Abdullah on this one as well. They currently get one free call for 15 minutes already a week. Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay. So they do get one free call a week now. And so this, let me go back up because it did mention, what was the section on here that we talked about? I don't think it was up that far. There's a section where we mentioned in here about, so I hear, can limit free calls per incarcerated person within a specific number of hours, daily, weekly, or monthly. Proposer shall list the ways in which rules for free calls can be assigned. So I think we're kind of leaving that open. We would, you know, want to make sure that everyone has the same adequate number of hours, daily, weekly, or monthly, for the free call.
Nicole, I have a quick question. You had mentioned that every detainee would get a tablet. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner, can you, do you want to expand a little bit on that? So our current contract does allow for every detainee to have a tablet. But Commissioner, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
We have it where they have tablets, everybody's able to access a tablet, but it's not assigned to an individual.
So how many tablets do we have on the floor currently? or in each pod?
It could hold up to 80, and so usually we try to have close to 80 in every pod. However, it's not assigned to a particular individual.
Okay, okay.
And
So-
I think this contract is is asking for it to be assigned to an individual, and I don't know, that's Nicole's area.
So is that correct? We're assigning an inmate, or I'm sorry, a detainee, individual tablet? Is
We
that correct?
would like to be able to do that, and mainly because we have. So if you have, I'll just use the numbers, 80 people in a pod and you have 80 tablets, the person has to check out a tablet when they want to use it.
Mm-hmm.
But there have been instances where people don't check them back in like they should. We have equipment that gets damaged, and Commissioner
Mhm.
can tell you that there's a lot of tablets that get damaged on a regular basis, and it's hard sometimes to determine what individual may have damaged the tablet, or if it was intentional, or if it was accidental. And so if every person has their own tablet that's assigned to them, we hope that those situations would be less common.
Okay, so the population tends to fluctuate on a regular basis. So are you, number one, are you building that cost into the $700 in order to purchase tablets, or do you have extra tablets for when the population fluctuates? Is that in the $700,000?
So that's actually a great question as well. I think that do you have a specific number that we have right now, Commissioner? Like the number of tablets, because I know some of them are like, some of them are being fixed and things like that, but is there like a total number that you have right now?
No, but I think she was asking cost. I think $300 a tablet, and if we probably have about 750 tablets in the entire. We've replaced about 1,300 in the past, if not more. I know it's more in the past 7-8 months. So we go through them.
And does the current vendor, just a quick question too, does the current vendor, when they get broke or they have to be replaced, are they assigning a cost? Is that $300? Do they charge us for that, or is that part of the contract that they are fixing them as they need to be fixed?
Actually, it's not a part of the contract.
Okay.
They fix them and they don't charge us.
Okay.
What we do is we will charge the inmate if we can pinpoint the detainee if they damage it, and we can pinpoint that they've damaged them.
But they don't take them with them when they leave, do they?
No. So I'm gonna flag that question as well. Yeah, because hopefully this doesn't happen, but if we reach capacity at CJC, 750 tablets would not give each detainee a tablet anyway. So I just wanted to let you all know that too.
Yeah, we just don't put them in areas that are currently being housed, but we usually have a 1-for-1 if they don't tear them up.
Okay. Any questions about monitoring, recording, or data requirements?
Now, there for the mail, what is the offsite mail? No, where you were this, yeah. Right under mail, scroll down. And it says offsite mail scanning services.
Commissioner,
This is a service that is currently being performed. We don't allow any mail, with the exception of legal mail, to come inside the facility. So all mail is scanned and placed up on each detainee's account so they can read it.
Oh, okay, okay.
and then we just added that the software would be able to detect faces and make sure that there's no inappropriate videos being played on the tablet.
Mm.
Any questions about firm qualifications? I have one quick question, and Commissioner, so in the maintenance, does your current vendor, do they have an on-site person 7 days a week?
They have 1-5,
5, okay.
but I think in your RFP, you wanted them to hand out and pick up. And that was the reason why we needed somebody here 7 days a week.
7 days, okay. Any questions about selection process? And of course, the date here will be changed as well. And contractual obligations are pretty standard here.
And we generally try to have a 30 days worth of open for 30 days of questioning, and then post it onto the website.
So Commissioner, should we say, as we're changing the dates throughout, should we say questions shall be submitted in writing no earlier than the opening date, which would be September the 3rd?
Right.
Okay.
They can question at any time, and we'll post it no later than 30 days upon the conclusion of the closing date.
Okay. So we would say no earlier than September 3rd, and then no later than, if our date is November 1st, to close it out. Would we say October? Would we
Okay,
say,
but now, you're not gonna put it out until the 3rd, right?
right? Mhm.
So you really wouldn't have to say no earlier. It's just that, it's always the deadline, like you got that box at the top of your RFP there where it has request for proposals release, deadline for proposal questions. And then you got a deadline for the questions to be answered. So sorry about that.
So we would say probably a deadline of October 1st. Is that right?
Right, she said 30 days before, so I would say, yeah, October 1st is a Tuesday, so
Okay. That sounds good. Okay, did anyone have any other questions?
I have a quick question. So you had mentioned that this is to be a line item added to the CJC budget, is that correct?
So it will be paid for out of yes, out of CJC. Yeah. So we will have to look at allocating money for that.
Okay, so, okay, all right.
So I flagged the dates in here. We'll get those changed. We'll add in the number of telephones in the pods. And then I will also check on the price per tablet included in that 700,000 so that we can get answers to those. Anything else?
Now, on your date page, you have all the dates you needed there.
On this page or?
Well, you got to change those dates
Yes.
too. But no, go scroll down to the chart there.
Yep. Thank you. So we got September 3rd, deadline for questions. We got October 1st, deadline for answers. Commissioner, how long did you say you needed to be able to respond to the questions?
Probably it depends. I would say 15 days.
Okay. So then we got deadline to respond October 15th. Due date. We said November 1st. Okay, thank you. So we'll get those changed as well. And then I think that takes us to any further discussion?
Now, are you gonna leave those other estimated lines in there as well?
I think most of our RFPs have that. I can just check with the city councilor's office to see, like, is it necessary for us to have those in there? And then if so, we'll fill those in as well.
Nicole, I was just recently on the RFP and we took those out. Like we didn't put the proposed contract start date.
Okay.
Or we took all of that out. I think the last place we ended was the due date for the applications.
Okay, so those last four.
I will double check, but yeah, we took
Okay.
those out.
Okay. Last
And
four.
a lot of times we don't have it in there either because depending on how many you get back, determines too how long it may take to go through them. So
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll get rid of those. I'll confirm, but we can take those off of there. Do we need to schedule a date for another meeting at this time, or? No? Do you just want me to make, the changes and circulate it back out to all of us?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Alright. All right. Do we need to do an official adjournment?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Now, if we're not gonna meet again, then we do need to even make a motion to accept this RFP with the changes that were listed here today. And that way we can vote on that, and then you could just send the final RFP out.
Okay. Do we want to do that, or do we want to make the changes and meet back one more time? It's up to you. I'm okay either way.
I am too, so.
I'm okay with the changes.
Okay.
I guess I'll make the motion to, I guess not meet again. We accept the changes as they are, as we've discussed, and for the final RFP to be emailed to us for review.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. Alrighty. Anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
You gotta do it all in favor.
Okay, I got you. So this is the first time I've been on a PSA.
So all in favor? I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And I motion that we adjourn this meeting. We have
So-
some,
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna, so move it.
well, I motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
All in
wonderful
favor?
day.
All right, you too.
All in
Thank you.
favor, aye, yes.
Aye.
Aye.